Hi there, my name is Mary Dick, and today I would like to present to you what I've learned in my consumer behavior course. My agenda today is to provide a personal appraisal of a project that we recently did relating to chapters 9 and 10, some foundational concepts I've learned throughout the process, some specific concepts that I've learned from chapter 9 and 10, and then I'll sum it up with 5 lessons that I've learned. So to begin a project appraisal, I'll give you an overview of the project, which was to pick a consumer that has recently made a significant purchase. My team and I chose the sister of one of our teammates who had recently become engaged and needed to buy a wedding dress. So a little bit about me. I'm hardworking and I can often be stubborn, particularly if I feel the integrity of a project will be compromised, even if it's just a word, an image, a table that appears out of context or not up to the standards that I've set for my own individual work. I believe that also being a mature student lends to the problem. As I was raised in a different era, my work ethic is very different. That's not saying that my younger teammates don't work hard, they certainly do, but just in a different way. I feel that often they're willing to submit a project that's just not quite up to the level of a fourth year student. But here I go again, using my own work ethic as a yardstick. What have I learned? On this project, I tried hard to take a back seat and let others drive. I only interjected when I felt passionate about an issue. Also, if I felt another team member's work was needing tweaking to get it up to the level required, I messaged them privately, complimented their efforts, and offered gentle suggestions on how they could elevate their work and provided the tools to enable them to do so. And this really worked well, and the results were very pleasing. I also feel younger students may look at me like their parents. They're not really willing to listen or to my input or ideas, and sometimes are somewhat dismissive. The great news is once the project's ready for submission, I tend to have won them over and they value my contributions. Working with younger students, although it's been challenging at times, has also taught me a lot about their generation, and I've learned from each of them. My role in this particular project was I feel like I write and edit very well, and I'm very disciplined, and I have great time management skills. I understand the material in chapters 9 and 10, particularly as we as individuals are these consumers, whether we realize it or not. There's a huge marketing machine behind all our consumer journeys that have studied our behaviors and has made the purchasing process what it is today and will continue to shape how it will be in the future as our habits, self-image, desires, and needs change. In the future, there's not much I would do differently except allow myself to be open to the process in a gestalt sort of way, kind of see it in its totality from beginning. Some foundational concepts. So I've learned that our choices are anchored in consumer behavior concepts. As much as one might feel they can beat the system, there's really no way to do that. Years and years of research, study, and analysis has gone into the field, from Freud, Adler, and Jung, just to name a few. When you really boil it down, as we have throughout this course, I can clearly identify the fruits of these previous scholars' work and their research that can actually benefit us future marketers. Which brings me to one of the first questions in the text. Do marketers give people what they want, or do they tell people what they should want? I'm not convinced I can truly fully answer that, but my vantage point is considerably different having learned throughout the course. I feel the need to set the stage, which are the foundational concepts I've learned, the role of our senses, interpretation, sensation, perception, learning how we as individuals process everything around us and how it resonates in different parts of our memories and truly shapes our behaviors, how exposure, whether immediate or through repetition, creates incidental learning that we access when a need arises. The main concepts learned here are the entire decision-making process: identify the need, seek out information both internally and externally, draw from our evoked set and stored incidental learning memories, consider the risks, and seek guidance from our reference groups. We choose a product by using our evaluative criterion, determinant attributes, and product signals, and then we apply either a compensatory or non-compensatory rule in making our ultimate choice. Then we ponder our choice and we need to decide, are we satisfied or are we dissatisfied? And what will we do with our purchase once we're finished? So the decision-making process is also aided by our own self-image, by store image, atmospherics, exchange process, temporal constraints, and mood congruence, just to name a few. And it's also helpful to identify the type of shopper you are, as this will affect your consumer journey. The purchase is where the relationships begin and should be nurtured to create brand loyalty. So to sum up, the 5 things I've learned is to understand the foundational concepts, the role of memory, incidental learning, and exposure, Gestalt theory in totality, the decision-making process in store image and atmospherics, and relationship marketing and brand loyalty. That concludes my presentation. Thank you for listening. It's truly been a pleasure. Thank everyone for listening. It's truly been a pleasure. Thank you.